Okay, I apologise for the image quality, but this is from a long time ago. So community was a main focus for me for art therapy. That boundaryless experience, whether it was race, religion, language, or whatever it was, art was able to bring people together in a very unique way, and it connected people in the moment. So this image represents that. So for me, art therapy is accessible to all. This is from maybe 15 years ago, so that's why the image is so bad. But what I love about art is how the stream of consciousness can just flow, and we don't know what will come out, what will happen, what will evolve. So this gives an example of how unique each person brings something to the table to share, how their stories are different, and how it connects each other in very different ways, unique ways that they weren't aware of. So for me, clay is the best medium I love to work with, and this is from a community project in South Goa, and I love the fact that it connects you on a much more spiritual, earthly way, feeling the clay between your toes and fingers, that smell, that sensory experience. And for art therapy, that's crucial for the students that I work with. So this is making a mark, and what it represents to me is, from the start of humankind, we've always had a need to make a mark in the world. From the cave paintings in France, this is how we communicate. So this image is from a client with autism who had sort of gender issues and a lot of attachment history issues, and they were constantly in a puzzle of confusion, basically. Nothing was ever good enough, I was not good enough, everything was crap. And in one of the sessions, they communicated this to me through the art making. So for them, it was poured, smeared, everything was just disgusting, and you had to get it out. And this is part of that experience. No matter who it is or who I work with or their stories, getting it out in one way is really important. So for me, I've been working with SEN students in South Goa in a government school, and I've been using lots of sensory tools to try and encourage communication, and these are some of the examples that I've been using for them. So yeah, for me this is really powerful, this image from a client that I worked with who was non-verbal, but whatever was going on for her, she could communicate it through the art materials. Getting lost in anxiety and fear of not knowing what was happening from day to day, and for her everything was just a confusion. So this is my process image, it's called Shared Gaze, and I made it in response to a group experience when students had been affected by suicide in the family, and for me this was about the anxiety of being in a space with a group of people. And once the art making started, that anxiety just went away. It was like it just flowed. And then they were able to share that experience together. So this is another process image I made called In the Shadows. And my work is about making that invisible story visible in some way. And here, this is made by a student. Made by a student who experienced a lot of trauma and grief. So her father died of suicide, and she became incredibly anxious and controlling. She wasn't able to explore her feelings, but in the group was able to communicate it through the clay material. So this is another image that I made, well, mixed media sculpture. So for me, this represents how the brain can kind of reintegrate, put back together traumatic memories, how things could be put back in place in a more orderly, conscious, concise way. So this image here is called Clay Volcano, made by a student, and for them, a lot of students, a lot of young people, the just experience of being embodied with that clay, how the emotions just can flow and they can communicate things on a much deeper level. So Split Pieces, this image is about how they loved and hated the same person. How could that same person be both good and bad? how could they acknowledge the pain that parent inflicted on them? So this image, it represents sort of trauma and being frozen. So being quite ironic, as dolphins are meant to move and meant to be free, but for her, life was just stuck. And it wasn't until she engaged in art therapy that she was able to acknowledge some of this. She was able to question, to reflect. So here, I call this Dead Bunny, and it's a traumatic loss from a young person of their dad. However, a bunny is symbolic of rebirth, but you can see here the two heads represent the two sides of the parent. The parent that sexually abused them, the parent that didn't understand them, and ultimately took their life. So for me, art therapy is about hope and trust. It's about building connections with themselves, but building relationships with each other, building more stronger, positive relationships. So I believe creativity and imagination can really restore a sense of possibility. It's why humans have a need to paint, to dance, to sing, to express themselves. And I feel like it's a drive to make meaning in life when words can't be used at times. So I wanted to end on this image here. And for me, my hope is that art can be a catalyst really for deeper human connection and consciousness. And in a world where everything moves so fast all the time, I feel using art is a way to just slow things down, reflect, and just have a deeper sense of yourself and others. So hopefully you've taken something away from today. If anything, make art, be creative. obviously I use a lot of art making myself, so I do a lot of ceramics and art making with my daughter. Keep myself busy.
Thank you. Give it up for Louise. Thank you so much.